Well, hello and good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio on our pre-match show for the Sheep versus Rangers. And since it is the season of goodwill and people have been sending us in their Santa letters, we like to give back on Rangers Radio. And tonight we're giving the present back to Big Al, and we're joined by none other than Port Bear. Port, how are you?
How are we doing, mate? Aye, good to be back. Good to be back. Everything's good. Port's happy, man. Family's back together. And almost upwards, mate, aye.
Excellent, mate. We're glad to have you back, and I'm sure, like I says, that doorway trying to get in here tonight with all that fan mail and fans chatting me a bit to see who the surprise package was tonight. I'm glad you can't fight them back, mate. They're looking for the Port. They're looking for the Port Bear. But Bears are joining us all over the world, mate. So I believe you've got the starting lineup tonight.
I certainly have, mate. Starting lineup tonight. A few surprises tonight, troops. McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Sands, Devine, Kamara, Jack will be your sitters, and then my front four will be Tillman, Fashion Junior, Kent, and Morelos. So in my eyes, mate, a 4-2-3-1, and hopefully Ryan Kent still gets that sort of free role where he can come inside and join up with Morelos at times. That's the way I see it, mate.
Probably the standout one, I think it'll probably jump out at folk. Port. Well, in fact, probably two. So we'll start with the one I think's the most standout is Sands in defence tonight. I'm quite surprised at that, mate. I suppose he started there with the Hibs game, but the way the manager was talking, especially on the interview and stuff like that, the weekend and stuff, that he was possibly going to get our two centre backs back. So, Sands is an interesting one, mate.
Aye, well, I thought when I seen Davies doing the media stuff, we're Scottish media, and then done it on the Rangers channel as well. I thought, all his talk was about getting fitness and how strong he feels and getting himself back into the team. He said we've seen very little of him yet, but what we saw, he felt he's done all right. I presume the same as you were when I seen that, mate. I thought we were going to go back to Goldson and Davies were two, experienced centre backs, but maybe he's just looking for a bit of fluency, mate, and because Sam's been the man in there alongside goals, and that's the reason he selected him ahead of him. That's the only reason I can think. But I'd have preferred to see Davies, if I'm honest.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he done a job for us against Hibs, so I'm not overly worried about it, but I'm just surprised, mate. I think that's fair to say.
Aye, I think, we paid $4 million for Davies as well, Gary. We've got to remember. We paid $4 million for him. We want to see him. We want to see what sort of player we've got in their hands as a centre back. We know a lot of Bears know very little about Davies, so we're just desperate to see him, I think, mate. But am I worried? No, I'm not. James Sands never seems to let us down, so I'm happy with him playing alongside Golson, mate.
Well, you bring us on to the next player that did surprise me, mate, is Connor Golson's back in the team. Great to see, mate, but like I say, he's just came back for an injury, so the manager must be quite happy that Golson's ready to go tonight, especially in this tough fixture against Aberdeen.
One thing Connor Golson's done, mate, over his Rangers career has been a man on a mission to play football. Very rarely injured. Mr. Reliable, always here for selection. So it was even surprising to see him get an injury, mate, to be honest. Missed out several years of, probably playing at the highest level due to his heart problem, mate. So he really plays like a man on a mission. Doesn't want to miss games. I think he probably feels he's missed enough games through his heart condition and stuff, mate. But, he's never let us down, and he's always Mr. Reliable. Our vice captain, and some guys will, probably the best communicator on the pitch, in my opinion, mate, if I'm honest. So it's great to have Connor Golson back, definitely, mate.
Brilliant, mate. Well, Bears are obviously joining us all the time, mate, and they two do jump out at us. So why don't you give us a call?
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So people are joining us all the time. Would you mind if you gave us the starting lineup again, bud?
Indeed, mate. Starting lineup tonight is McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands, Devine, Kamara, Jack, Tillman, Fashion Jr., Kent, Morelos. Tonight's subs are McLaughlin, Lundstrom, Matondo, Wright, Davis, McCann, Arfield, King and Lowry.
Starting to see a bit of a strong bench there as well, Port, isn't it? When and Lundstrom seems to be the one that's been benched because obviously he prefers probably Jack and Kamara in there. That's got to be a good place for competition now. I think Lundstrom will obviously have to kind of step up his game to fight for a place in this team going forward, do you think?
So far this season, mate, after last season, that Lundstrom got to, Bayer Leverkusen, RB Leipzig, and his European one. He's been a slow start of the season, in my opinion, this year, Lundstrom, mate. And it's been great to see Kamara and Jack get back fit as well. So it just shows you how far Jack and Kamara have came, that they've actually leapfrogged Lundstrom, who most players, including myself, had John Lundstrom as one of the first picks a nail on, for playing in one of the holding roles in midfield, if not playing it himself. So I'm surprised, mate. Lundstrom's been dropped unless he's carried a knock. Am I bothered about Kamara and Jack in the sitting roles, mate? No, I'm not. I know what we've got with Glenn Kamara and Ryan Jack. But Lundstrom, as you said, mate, is going to need to fight for his position, or unless the new manager sees Lundstrom further forward, mate.
Possibly, buddy. Possibly. It's a good headache for the manager to have in a sense because Jack is kind of up and down with injuries and stuff like that. So it's good to have a strong backup there. I think that's what we've been lacking in the past. That when Jack seems to drop out the team, we never really had somebody to slot in there and carry out the same kind of steel that Jack kind of brings to the team and stuff like that. So, to be honest, it's good that Lundstrom's there because I think Lundstrom can do the kind of similar role as Jack and Kamara to a certain extent. But no, that was kind of one of the ones that jumped out for myself when I was looking at the bench tonight, buddy. So I seen it start the show that you picked up on the formation. So you're going with, what was it? Did you say it was a
4-2-3-1?
4-2-3-1. No, the 4-3-3 that we've seen with Steven Gerrard or anything like that.
No, I think your back four with Tav, Goldson, Sands, Devine, and your two sitters with Jack Kamara in front of them two. I think Tillman will boot on the right, Fashed on the left, and Kent and Morelos are Kent will get played in that sort of middle role. But I think you'll get to just go and do what Ryan Kent does and go and link up all over that front four, mate, or over the front three positions. I think you'll just get to, move about, which I think suits Ryan Kent a lot better when he's less restricted to being out on that wing and having to cover Devine, etc. So I think the guys that will be covering the fullbacks tonight will be Jack and Kamara. They'll cover the fullback instead of our wingers having to come back.
It would make sense because Kamara and Jack, especially Jack Porter, he's always good at kind of filling in either side. I think I've seen him get covering for Tavo at the time as well. So it's good that we've got that kind of solid base there. And I think our manager's also touched on it that he's wanted as many attackers on the field as possible. And when you read this, Tillman, Fashion Jr., Kent, Morelos, it's quite an interesting forward line, and possibly, like I says, full of goals in amongst them.
But you've got absolute blistering pace and an eye for goal with Fashion Jr. He's proved since Beale's come in and he started. He's got a goal against Tibbs. He's looked positive. He's just so quick over that first 10 yards. Ryan Kent again brings pace and trickery. And you've got a stealing power of Morelos up front again. But, the guy who's stood out for me since Beale's come in is Tillman again. Tillman seems to have raised it again since Beale's come through the door. I think he's a Michael Beale player, if I'm honest. I think Michael Beale likes young, talented players with clever feet. Very, very Aribo-like in his early stages of his career. Tillman, for me, that pass he made for Morelos against Tibbs, the third goal, How a guy 6 foot plus shifts his feet in the manner he does, mate, defies logic. You know, it really does. It defies logic. But the big man's got cracking balance and great feet, and I think that's what Michael Beale likes as well. That's why the big man's starting as well, and he's a real goal threat as well. So, as you said, our front four are dangerous in all different styles and possibilities of permutations of how they're going to score, mate.
I like how you said that, mate, because other people who are dangerous. We've been joined with Andy for Leeds. How you doing, Andy?
Good evening, the young team, eh?
That's it. Dream team, Andy. The dream team are on tonight, mate.
Well, this old bag is coming on to torment you.
We like it, Andy. We like it. Tell us about what you're thinking, mate.
Listen, I think I'm surprised he's gone Goldstein for the start there, and there's not a lot of game time. That was a bad injury, but he kind of intimated that was going to happen. The Sands one worries me in terms of he got his ass handed to him the last time there. We got the three players, Kamara, Kent and Morales, that don't want to be there, so you just hope that they've got their heat on and they're going to go for it. It's good going forward. I think there's options there, isn't there?
You've touched on it.
I just see that the front four, Andy, have been pretty fluent in their movement. I think what you'll see is Kent, Tillman, and even Fashion at times all interchanging. I think that gives us, rather than the guys being stuck to, Kent on the left, Fashion on the right, Tillman playing that 10, if they keep their continued movement and move about, switching wings, you might see Tillman at times in the number 10 position, Kent will be in there, and they'll just keep switching, mate. And I think that brings a lot more danger, the movement, because then the Aberdeen defence will then be saying to themselves, right, who's picking who up here? So you plant that seed of doubt in their team's head, I think, which we'll need, because they'll be very stubborn. Aberdeen tonight, a game which they showed against right up to the 87th minute against that mob. So I think they're going to be very same tonight. I think they'll be very stubborn and hard to break down, mate. So we're going to need movement.
What worries me, Paul, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. What worries me is I get the Tillman one going forward and all that, but if you look at any of the big games he's played when it's been physical, he's died, hasn't he? He's absolutely keeked it, for want of another word. That worries me. And Kamara, he worries me. I don't think he's in the right frame of mind since the races carry on last season. And I think he hides as well in them games as well. I think we needed a bit of brawn, in the middle. Maybe I'm going to say this. Chins will be listening, mate, because he knows what I'm thinking. But I think maybe you needed that bit of brawn in the middle. Half of him right enough. But if you're looking back on the Gerrard and Beale, the Scouts guy didn't get. He was in and out of the team, wasn't he? Yeah, they wasn't quite confident with him, And I wonder if Bale still got that mind. He's thinking like that. Well, could he be there permanently? Like, does he fit in his plans? Because you would have thought with all the injuries, he would have got in, for the steal. Because you know what you're going to get after him, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, Andy, one of your favourite players, obviously, is in that midfield tonight is Jack. Is he going to offer up the steal that we're looking for tonight, especially against Aberdeen? Because I think Ryan Jack loves these tasty games, doesn't he?
I think the only problem is, can we keep him fit? You know for a fact he's going to get steamed into the tackles, but every time you watch, well, I do anyway, every time you watch him going for a tackle, the first thing I'm looking for is to see what part of his body is on. It gives you the fear that way, right enough. I mean, if we could get a fit Jack, yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't, even if he stays, if they're going to offer him a contract, I would only lay it down as a pay as you play. I don't know what you think on that one.
Port, I mean, going just basically on the night, we've got a fit Ryan Jack on the part tonight, so I would imagine we're going to get the full kit and caboodle off him, mate.
I just don't think with the type of the guy, mate. I think what Andy's touching on, I think that he's an all or nothing sort of midfielder, comparative gets himself across the pitch. Obviously, he's grown in fitness levels as his body's feeling better, which I think you've noticed. I think he does look as if he's moving better for me. And like Andy says, a fit Ryan Jack will always be an asset at Rangers. We've got players a lot older than he is, that still do a job for us. So, like Andy's saying, the right contract under the right terms and conditions, and I think you might get Ryan Jack that will stay as long as we can keep him fit, mate. And his body will tell him when it's ready to hang up them boots. His body will definitely tell him. It happened to myself, mate. So, but I know what Andy's saying. Every tackle he makes, and I got last to myself near the end of my career. Every challenge I made, I was slow and slower getting up off a deck. But that he's going to offer the steel tonight. Kamara will offer, movement, touch. He is classy with the ball, and he does move well with the ball. But I understand what Andy's saying and all about his doubts with Kamara, and a lot of fans I think are under the same impression.
Well, you mentioned the fans there. You mentioned the fans there at the Port, and people are obviously joining us all the time, mate. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Sorry, Andy, mate, you're just going to come in there?
Yeah, whatever you mind. Looking back last season, at the times that Jack and Kamara played, Kamara never really played well alongside Jack, did he? We were having that discussion last season. That just kind of, I would have definitely gone for a stronger guy alongside Jack. I wonder if Lowry will get a bit of game time tonight. I think he could be vital in a tight game, like you were saying there, with him just sitting back. I don't think they'll do that else tonight. I think they'll come and have a go. Well, if that's the case, then hopefully your forward line that you're talking about, get in behind them and get the chances and put them away. Morales, we just want him to keep his heat tonight, don't we? Because he's got a bit of a record against them, hasn't he, for getting sent off. So if he keeps the heat and they put their chances on a plate, or we'll put them there for him. Let's see if we can get another goal, get his confidence going. If he's going to be staying till the end of the season, he needs to start putting the ball in the rigging, doesn't he, regularly, and with a better attitude. We know he can score goals,
Or the Mandy brings up Morelos, as a kind of talking point of the fan group now. But I mean, the night he's got if he wants to keep his place in the team, we're hearing Joak's back Friday. For his injury, Joak's got to be chopping at the bit to get that jersey back. I mean, if Morelos is wanting to keep that tonight, he's going to have to go out and give us a performance, like Andy says, keep the heat. So it's all for him to do tonight, mate.
I agree, mate. I mean, I don't know if Colak's going to be a field type player. I'm going to just tell you my opinion, right? I don't think Colak, unless he can develop like we developed Morelos, unless he can be, a player that can play with his back to goal and interlink with his players around him, I think Colak might find it hard to get into the team, mate, because Alfredo Morelos brings a certain style to the Rangers side. Very competitive forward, likes to put his body about, shows for the ball, drops deep, can link play. It's a very different style under Michael Beale to the way Giovanni eventually set up the team to suit Colak. When they made chances for Colak and they bought a lot of cross balls, they got people in the room to make sure they could provide for him. So I just don't know if Colak will come in as quick as you think, mate. I just think there's a certain system getting played at Ibrox right now under Michael Beale, mate. And I don't know if Colak will suit that system. But he did say in his last interview, he believes there's space for two of them.
So there's a possibility there. Big call, Andy, if the manager decides to no play our top goal scorer this season, on the weekend. So it's up to Morelos, like I was saying there at the Port, to hold on to that shirt, mate, and put in a performance tonight.
Aye, well, it's the thing you've got with, obviously Colak getting injured for a couple of games, but you're not alone there, Port, by the way. Ashers reckons he'll no fit in his plans. the way he plays, and I've had that said by a couple of guys as well. He don't think he'll fit into Bales, but Morales, he cut one of them things. If we're wanting to get him out and get some money for him in January, and he's wanting to go get another one, he's in there now. We've got to get him in a short window. Nobody's going to come and buy him current form, so we need him in there at night scoring goals. And if somebody does come in with a bid, then he can go and look at whatever striker he wants to hopefully play alongside Kulak. Kulak can get into that system, I'm pretty sure, but as it stands as the way it was played, he doesn't fit into how I think Bale's going to help. What do you think, boys?
Andy, for me personally, I honestly think Colak will fit into where everyone else has got to be playing tonight. I think the big man was showing signs under Gio that he was able to kind of drop and make the passes and set up. I mean, to be honest, the last Aberdeen game kind of jumps out at me where Colak was immense. He was in about helping the midfield. He got his goal as well to get us back in the game. But Colak's not there tonight. It's all about Morelos, Kent and Fashion Jr. up front. And like I says, we need a win. We need to keep this momentum going. It's Bale's first game away. It's his second game in charge. His second competitive game in charge. So, it's points win prizes, mate.
Oh, 100%, mate. I think one thing you noticed in the last game, mate, especially the second half, whatever Michael Beale said at half time, that team came out and showed character, endeavour, and looked right up for a scrap, which I've not seen for a long, long time for the Rangers side. So that's one thing you get from certain players in our current team, mate, that they've always players in there. With goals coming back tonight as well alongside Tav, your vice-captain, your captain. I think that also add a bit more strength to the spine of the team and the experience as well. So I think that maybe invite players back at that quality of Goldson. Tom Lawrence isn't far away either. Police Shooter's not far away. But when we get all these guys back, mate, when you look at our squad overall, our squad is pretty deep and it's pretty strong, which is a good sign. So, we've got young McCann and Lowry, as Andy touched on. Maybe they're part to play tonight at some point as well, especially Lowry, if it's a tight game. But I think what's on the pitch in the first 11 tonight, I think guaranteed, I'm only going with what I've watched. That team there beats Aberdeen for me every weekend if we play them. That team here tonight beats Aberdeen comfortably.
Well, you're saying about the starting 11 there, Port. Would you mind if you give us the starting 11 since Bears are joining us all the time?
Starting 11 is McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands, Devine, Kamara, Jack, Tillman, Fashion Jr., Kent and Morelos. Our subs tonight are McLaughlin, Lundstrom, Matondo, Wright, Davies, McCann, Arfield, King and Lowry.
Brilliant, mate. Andy, the guy that's jumped out at me the now is Tillman. I know you've said he kind of falls away in these kind of critical games, but recently, I mean, the Bayer Leverkusen game, the Hibs game under Michael Beale, he seems to be the kind of talisman now. Do you think this will be another tasty encounter for him tonight?
Well, look, if he stays on the park and he gets involved on the dirty side of the game, you know what he can do going forward. But I said, well, as you well know, I get battered in the WhatsApp for saying I don't think he's good for Scottish football. But I'm my opinion. You know what I'm like, Gary. I stick to it. I only say what I see. And the first half, I didn't think he did anything. The second half, it was instrumental, wasn't it? You only speak at the time, but I need to shut up after 20 minutes.
Your heart's on your sleeve, Andy. Your heart's on your sleeve, and that's what we want.
It's never anywhere else, Gary. You know that, don't you? But no, look, he's got something and all that. But as I say, I worry when the big teams come on top. He's been kind of non-existent that way, right enough. But if he puts in that kind of performance in the second half, hopefully that's going to damage them, isn't it? And he's good, from a corner. He does seem to be the guy that can get up and get a good head on the ball, doesn't he? He's about the only one that you could say can do that properly just now. So yeah, look, we all everyone that turns out tonight, we ought to put in performance and they give us a result, and we're all happy, you know. And like I say, we can keep winning, keep winning. We've only won the one game since we're back right enough. If we can get a good result up here tonight, you know, that's two teams that you're going to get stuck into because they hate the sight of us. And if we can come through there too, then you build on that confidence and move on to the next one, don't you? So it's all about tonight and getting it sorted. Hopefully we get the result and we move forward to the next one.
100%, and 100%. Port, I see similarities with Stephen Gerrard when he talked about Aribo and Beale, the way he's been talking about Tillman. Is this kind of maybe the start of a kind of new Joe Aribo into the team through Tillman with Beale?
Well, we first got him, mate, in the early weeks of the season when he started. That's, if you thought about players who looked similar, that's who he looked like to me. He looked like a sort of, even his body shape, you know, that sort of gangly, tall, you know, ball carrying type, you know, forward midfield player. Good air ability, which he's proven as well. Scored cracking goals with his head, which we very rarely have a guy that scores with his head. But in Malik Tillman, mate, I think we've got one of Europe's, you know, unfound talent, just like we did with Aribo. I don't think we've anywhere near seen him at his best yet. I think we've seen flashes of brilliance for him. And those flashes of brilliance, which I've saw and you've also, I think there's definitely a player in there. Just always remember, like Michael Beale says, we're not shopping at Harrods. We'll always be signing players that we have to develop and move on. But it's all about the quality of the young players we get and to develop and move on. And to get a young player for Bayern Munich who are willing to sell to Rangers, you know, that's sort of where we should be shopping. You know, but these massive clubs who are picking all the best young talent to Europe, and then you have to just get it right and you're further developing them and moving them on. I do think Malik Tillman's going to be a staff of Rangers, mate. I do think, my personal opinion, I would go and sign him in January.
But to be honest, mate, I'm with you. He does show that signs that he will, after maybe another season under his belt, that we will start to see the kind of the way Joe Aribo developed into our team. The only sad thing about being a Rangers player is sometimes you don't get that time. But if the boy keeps up with the assists, I mean, what was that? 2 assists the other night against Hibs, and especially that one with Morelos, he was stumbling. I mean, any other player probably would have fell to their feet in the box, but he kept going and he looked up and made that pass, and it ended up being the difference in the game for his Port. So, Tillman's one of these guys that's going to be a very important player, and Andy, it's vital that we keep him fit.
Oh, I think you're going to have to, especially with the injuries we've got at the moment, right enough. I mean, if Lawrence comes back and a couple of others, you know, he really has to, don't he, keep putting in his performances, so sort of like these guys coming back just to, you know, make sure he can stay in the team. I'll give you my answer on that one. No change. No, I wouldn't, unless he really gives me performances like that and he gets stuck in Scotland, because at the end of the day, look, if you don't get stuck in there, you're going to get batterings every other week, aren't you? Because we won't tolerate that. It's just the nature of the way we play back in. So, but if he plays performances like that, but there again, even at that, do you see Rangers paying $5 million for a player?
That'll be the question.
Even if he is good, you know, even if he is good and he has put performances like he did, can you honestly see Rangers putting $5 million down for a player? I can't see it, Port.
It depends on the package, Andy. I think Port, I mean, he can make a £5 million player stretch here so many years. This depends how the two clubs can come to an agreement, I suppose. But I do agree with Andy. We've obviously got to see more consistency for Tillman, and I think if he does keep doing what he's doing with the assists and chipping in with the odd goals as well for us, then he could be a Rangers player for a long time to come, Porter.
Oh, definitely. He's, you know, there's all types of bravery in football, Gary. You get players that will, you know, thump into tackles, you know, put their head where it's, you know, going to kick off, etc. But he's a young man that doesn't hide. He'll come and accept the ball after. I mean, if you watch him, he'll go. He's always wanting the ball. He'll trap into midfield and he'll ask for the ball so he can go and turn in. Again, even he's to Kent, he'll go wide to try and link up. He's always looking for to get on the ball and influence the game. however he can. I do agree with Andy. I think he has to add a wee bit of fire in his belly and show that he's not going to get bullied. Joe Rebo was the same when he first came. But after a few months, 6 to 8 months, Joe Rebo got it that it's a physical game up in Scotland. And if you don't stick up for yourself, you're going to get fun out. Now, I don't think Andy's doubting his quality. I think Andy's just doubting a wee bit of fire in the belly, which is
it's a heart. Yeah,
it's a heart, mate. Yeah. And I think if we get that, that's the full package. And I think you would be talking maybe about a £4 or £5 million player, but he's definitely doubted his quality, Gary. And like Andy said, I know in regards to Lawrence and that coming back, it's just they're coming back. You've got young Lowry and that breathing down his neck as well. He's going to have to keep performing to stay in that team, because Tom Lawrence will probably, we're talking about experience Welsh international here. He's not going to, take sitting the bench, so he'll be wanting his position back. And he was playing very well up to his injury. So it's, Tillman wants to the teammate is to keep performing.
Another young player that's trying to cement his place in the first team now, Andy, is Devine. He starts again tonight at left back. The boy, so far, between the two games that I've seen him, the Leverkusen and Hibs, hasn't put a fit rang. I said in the show the other night as well that it's going to be kind of his shirt to kind of lose if he keeps up these kind of performances. And another big test for him tonight, buddy.
I like Devine. I mean, okay, he's only young yet, and he's got to get into it, but he doesn't lack any bottle. He get up there, he's putting the wee crosses in and all that. I liked him. And by the way, Gary, but I've actually got somebody's granddad's tunes.
Oh, big Sydney, was it? Big Sydney, huh?
Aye.
I'll speak to Fox especially for you, mate, see if we get some Sydney on at the end of the show for you.
A bit of blanket on the ground, see if she's listening.
Enough of your blankets in the ground, boy.
I know. Something better look at the line along with him, I think. But no, look, I think he's a good player. Also, I mean, the Ridvan one as well. We got to look at him. He looked all right in that the sheep game at Ibrox, didn't he? Yeah. We can get him fit and get him going, and you're pushing for places as well, aren't you? I mean, I would imagine if Ridvan comes back and starts playing well, he's then pushing Bonner, which I don't think should be much of a problem for him if he's a decent player. And then you've got somebody actually breathing. You've got Devine actually breathing down Taverniers' neck then as well, haven't you? So you've got two vying for the two places, which in turn should make your team stronger, shouldn't it? Because the guys are vying for your places,
Paul?
I've been impressed with the young man, Gary. I really have. I think, when we sent the boy back to Poland, I was kind of worried because I thought, right, but they're putting a hell of a lot of pressure on this young man, saying basically that's you number 2 to have, the captain of the club. And any time I saw him playing there, even in the cup game when he played when Tav get rested, he's never let Rangers down. And the fact that he's going and playing on the left, mate, is showing versatility. And a couple of crosses he put in against Hibs with his left foot, all right, they weren't as good as his right, definitely not, but they were still putting in dangerous positions, mate. And he wasn't just lashing at him with his left foot, he was still picking people up with his left foot, which should again, good bravery. He's comfortable on either foot. He doesn't mind playing the left side. He'll play as long as he's playing, mate. It gives me the impression, which you get with youth, as long as he's playing, he'll play anywhere for Rangers. But he's got the package going both ways. He's good at going forward, linking up, mate, but he can also defend. He's good air ability as well. So I'm enjoying watching the young team getting into the squad, mate. Even in the squad, I enjoy it. But when they get starts and get chances, when you've got a Croatian international, I know he's not back for the World Cup yet, a Turkish international, who are both for left backs, again injured, and Devine's still holding his own and doing very well so far. On that left side, mate, I think the young man's definitely got a future in the game, 100%.
Andy, just quickly, the youth Rangers just now must be licking their lips at the chances that can be presenting themselves in this first 11 now. I mean, there's Devine came out in nowhere because of left back injuries. Kings came into the centre of defence at times for us because of injuries. I mean, as much as we don't want any injuries up front. I mean, you're talking the likes of Lowry's waiting in the wings, McCann's waiting in the wings as well. It's a pivotal time for the boys to try and keep pushing to break into this first 11 for us, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Well, like you're open, aren't you? That obviously we think Lowry's going to make it. Hopefully King, Young Divine, Red Wine, and then you've got the young boy McCann, which I think if he gets game time, he will come good.
Yep.
I think in turn, if you look into the end of the season, like the so-called 10 transfers, I think what he'll be looking at there is hoping he can bring 3 or 4 of them boys through, probably bring in 5 of his own players at the end of the season. And then, build around, obviously, Kolak and, what's his name? Lawrence and all that. So I think that's the way he'll be looking at that, introducing a bit of youth. It's time for them to grow into men, but they'll only grow into men if they get game time. So Beale's got to be cute as well, hasn't he? So hopefully it's got to come together, all together, and with better luck's involved in it. Free up these bloody injuries that we're getting all the time, because I don't know what the doctors are doing there at all. Or have we got any doctors? The 2 of them left, didn't they? So I don't know what's going on that side. But yeah, if we can do that, it'll be good for Rangers going forward. And that's what we want. We want to start winning things now, and inserting ourselves on these teams. The teams that we shouldn't even be worrying about, we shouldn't be struggling against. So it's his era. He come back from a bad start. Let's go out there and hopefully get a positive and a good hard performance tonight. And we can start small steps, see where we go.
Andy, I love this positivity. This WhatsApp group's not going to know what's hurt them tonight. Right,
Gary, it's 3/4 a bottle of vodka. That's why I'm calm. The game's not kicked off yet.
Andy, keep the positivity going. Give me your score predictions for tonight against the Sheep.
I'm going for 2-0 or 2-1 at worst. For us, obviously.
Oh. The positivity dipped a bit there, Port. Did you notice that? Went to 2-1.
Hey, listen, you'll see me about 20 minutes in the WhatsApp if it's not going well, Gary. You know what's coming.
Port Bear, can I have your score predictions, please, mate?
I'm going to, after an exciting second half against Hibs, mate, I'm going to give Rangers a 3-1 victory tonight. I think we'll be far too strong, too much movement for the Sheep tonight, mate. I'm going for 3-1.
Right, I've got my accumulator on, so give me the kind of goal scorers as well, you think, so I can try and put this together.
Right, I'm going to go with Tillman, Kent, Morelos, mate.
Oh, that should give me a good 2-1 on, I think, there. Andy, you listening to this?
I'm listening. Jack both goals for me, by the way.
Definitely. It's a certainty. Aye, I mean, boys, the night is, let's say, that front line should be more than enough for Aberdeen tonight. Plenty of talent there. Fashion Junior, full of positivity, wants to run at a defence that's probably wanting to sit in against us. I think if we bring the same application as we did at Ibrox against the Sheep a couple of weeks ago, then I'm sure we'll probably see the same result. But I think, Port, you touched on it with Kent. We need him roaming the night.
Aye, the movement for me is critical, mate. They're going to sit in, be stubborn, horrible to play against, so we need to drag them out, get the early goal, and they'll have to come out, they'll have to move and just go and, finish them off. That's the way I see it, mate.
Andy, are you going to be hoping Kent gives us a couple of goals, or he causes the assist tonight, mate?
Oh, of course. I mean, he needs to do that. He's not done it for a long time now, has he? You know what I mean? So, get up with his game. I mean, he scored that opening goal for his 55 and, went on to get caught. Look, a relative of what I think about him. Like, if he comes out, puts a performance in, gets a goal and an assist, and hopefully you're thinking he's saying to himself, oh, that wasn't bad. I like that. I'm going to go on to the next game and train up my game again. That's all it takes from him. Am I convinced long term with him? No, not at all. But, he's playing for Rangers, and at the end of the day, we're looking for him or any of them tonight to go out and, show the manager and the fans that they want to play for us. That's not much to ask. I say that every time, repeat myself, but you can't. That's what we ask of him, isn't it?
That is, mate. And it is coming to that time, Andy. Everybody get comfy. Port, final thoughts, buddy?
Aye, my final thoughts on, mate, I think under Beale, I think these players have got 6 months for now to the summer to show him, the gaffer, that they want to stay. And that goes for what Andy's touching on, Morelos, Kent, Kamara. I think tonight's game will be another strong start and finish for me, mate. I can't see it any other way but 3-1. I really can't. And although the other side of the water found it tough against them, they play different against us, mate. We know that. So I can't see any other victory apart from a 3-1 victory. And thanks for having us, mate. Cheers.
You're very welcome. Well, I'm predicting a 3-0 victory, and we're going to go out and smash them tonight because our manager wants positive football and he's wanting to take the game to him. So here we go. I want to say thank Andy for phoning in tonight, mate. Pleasure as always, and I'll be keeping an eye on that positivity, buddy. I want to thank all the listeners tuning in over the social platforms tonight. Thanks for joining us. Old School Blue and Fox on the technicals, and we'll be back 15 minutes after the full-time whistle for hopefully a big Rangers victory. Come on, the Bears.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football, with Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, will follow near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands and Ibrox.